Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here, playing some more Warhammer combat cards, continuing this PvP event over the weekend, and there's still a day and a half left, but I've actually gotten a lot more wins than I was expecting. I think I probably won about 90% of the games at least. And really it comes down largely to the bodyguards you choose. When all the cards are set to the same level, certain bodyguards are much stronger than others. So if you pick, the most cost-effective cards, they'll give you a big advantage. When facing a deck of similar power, it comes down to sort of the strategy, the deployment, positioning, and all that. But a lot of people have been complaining about the mission rewards, uh, namely the fact that it is impossible to even come close to finishing the missions, especially because once you complete the 30 wins for these rewards, you can no longer play any more games in the campaign. That's the way that the campaign system is set up. So that means it's impossible really to deal enough damage to get these rewards. And you can see here, just I've been playing through, and even playing through entire matches, I haven't come close to really unlocking many of these rewards. I've been going mostly ranged, but also throwing in a little bit of melee here and there. But yeah, once I get all the wins, I guess I'll no longer be able to work towards the missions, which is fine because, I mean, honestly, I don't really need these cards at all. But I think in terms of the presentation, it could have been done better. I mean, having all these impossible to reach milestones seems pretty pointless, and it kind of makes you feel bad for not completing it, right? I mean, I think they would have been better off to just have some crappy reward that is much more achievable, and nobody would have complained. But I guess what some people are doing is intentionally losing matches in order to have more chances to get points towards the missions, which has kind of created a lot of discontent as well, with just people not being able to get whole matches in because people are quitting early on. So it hasn't really been the greatest event, but personally, I've been enjoying it more than the last PvP event, when I am able to get whole matches in. Now, what I'd like to do here, I just have a few matches remaining, but I want to show you how some of the newer warlords in the game perform in PvP. And again, a lot of these newer warlords I haven't really used much in ranked because they're at such a low level, they're just not competitive. But I'm curious to see how they'll do here. I'm going to start with Illic Nightspear, which is one of the worst warlords, arguably, that has been released recently. It's just really hard to trigger his special rule. And the one warlord that I've really had success with in this PvP event is Zephyrblade, running a pretty similar composition to what I have here. Some of these bodyguards are very strong at these levels. So I'm gonna run sort of the similar composition that has worked with the Zephyrblade and use it with Illic and see if I can actually win a game. So let's go ahead and deploy. The key is dealing 75% or more of the target's health, but not outright killing it, and that will allow your warlord, the Illic's special rule, to trigger and finish off the enemy unit. So we're up against Grandmaster Voldus. We do have the initiative. This is a very speedy deck. Lots of very high initiative flyers. So we'll be taking the first turn. Now that does again give them the advantage of being able to counter deploy. And they have a very big card right there. So, and it's going to be hard to kill it because obviously he can move it around. So I think we're going to have to save the big game hunter for a little bit later. I think we'll start out with just an outflank. And hopefully we'll be able to snipe something of theirs. Okay, so yeah. Definitely want to take down these guys with Sonic Blast. They do a lot of damage. So I think we'll just throw down Malgan Ra and see what he can do. I mean, he could easily kill Stormcaller, I think, on his own without Illic's special rule. But, well, actually, he's healing him up, so we'll see how much damage we do here. Alright, we do have the Barrage also from the Void Weaver. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty easy to take him down. And as you can see, yeah, we won't even need to utilize this. But I think it may come in handy for killing the Tech Marine. We'll see how much damage the barrage. Well, okay, there we go. The barrage did 31 damage to the side, so it did activate there. And because we hit them with the outflank, their next, or their first attack is going to be a pretty weak one. So obviously killing big cards like this in one turn is very difficult. You know, dealing 75%, it's nearly impossible with Illic, because you just, unlike the Zephyr Blade, your units don't get stronger over time. You just are stuck with their base attack. But we'll see if, well, I think they're actually going to be debuffing the range, which makes it even harder to actually kill anything in one turn. We do have a scout, though, so I think deploying that would be a good choice. We'll just stick it in the center and see if we can snipe the apothecary over there, again with Malgan Ra. I think we should be able to do it. Yeah, I believe that is 75%. About to find out. Okay. Yeah, that worked pretty well, so now the Warlord has to deploy. I've seen a lot of people playing Psychic decks, but I think Psychic decks are not so great in this PvP event, mainly because of the level of the cards. A lot of Psychers are just not really that strong at these levels. Just aren't able to deal as much damage or have the kind of health to survive against ranged decks. But look at this guy, wow, 173 damage. I was not even paying attention, but that guy, because he deployed first, he's gotten all of the buffs, so that's a little bit scary. Go ahead and deploy the Ravager. It's got Big Game Hunter, so it'll be dealing extra damage, I think, yeah, to Grandmaster Foldus. So we'll see how much damage it can do here. I don't think we'll be able to snipe him. 114, so yeah, we'll definitely be able to win this game, but the special rule did trigger twice, so it's better than, wow, that was a huge Sonic Blast. Okay. Took out 2 bodyguards just with the Sonic Blast, and then, yeah, that is pretty amazing. I think this would be a pretty fun deck to use, I think, using this guy with Grandmaster Foldus. And, okay, well, we do have Deadshot, so we can target Voldus himself, but I also have a unit with target acquired, so deploying Deadshot and target acquired in the same turn is not great, but I think that we still will be targeting Voldus with 2 of the units, which should be more than enough to take him down. Alright, so open fire, and yeah. Okay, managed to win. Honestly, I think we probably could have won with pretty much any deck against that. I mean, the Voldus deck was decent. It's a decent composition. It just doesn't have a huge amount of health, so not really that hard to get through the bodyguards. Alright, next up we're going to try Zodgrod Wortsnagga, the newest Orc Warlord. Now this guy is able to buff your big cards by getting your small cards killed, basically. Anytime a bodyguard with 10 or less stats is destroyed, it gives everything else 10% boost to his stats, up to maximum 5. So we have the 2 endless cards, the Gretchen and the Orc Boy, and then the Bomb Squid. Those are the cheap fodder cards that we want to get killed at the beginning, and which will power up the big Death Dreads. So I haven't tried this out yet in PvP, so curious to see how it does. You could also go ranged with this. Ranged might honestly be a better choice, but some of the ranged units at this level were not really that great. So we'll see how it works against a ranged deck, led by the Zephyr Blade. And this player appears to be AFK. The timer is going down. It looks like they're going to get a strike. This has happened a few times. Sometimes when a player is about to lose the match, they'll just leave, like just go AFK, and you have to wait for the timer, which is annoying. But this is even more frustrating when they're just not even there from the beginning. Okay, the timer was about to run out there, but they did manage to deploy, so maybe the player has come back. They have really big, really strong ranged attack charged up on this first turn, so they're easily going to be able to wipe out everything I put down. But yeah, playing against players who are AFK is one of the big frustrating things about this PvP mode. Let's see, I guess, well, the other fodder card isn't showing up, so we'll just put down this big Death Dread, or what is it, the Mecha Dread with shield. He has 3 shields that can absorb insane amounts of damage, so it's basically invulnerable for the first 3 attacks. They're going ranged, obviously, doing a lot of damage, but killing 2 guys. It's going to power up my minions with every death there. Bomb Squig is going to explode with a death blow, dealing pretty good damage. And that first attack from the Razor Wing gets blocked by the shield. Alright, we can go ahead and deploy the Gretchen here. And I think we want to go melee, obviously. Probably be going melee for most, if not the whole match. Eldari going to be getting stronger every turn. With every death, I mean, actually, the Zephyr Blade really benefits from killing these endless cards as well, so they're going to be getting a lot of stacks and dealing a lot of damage. I think it's going to be difficult to get through to the enemy Warlord. So already they've killed off most of the fodder. There's just going to be 1 Gretchen remaining, and then it'll just be up to the Death Dreads to do the rest of the work. Mecha Dread still has 1 shield remaining, and let's see, its attack stats it's quite strong now. So I think we can maybe shift it over. Kind of have to be careful here. Well, we'll put this guy there, and yeah, actually that should work out nicely. We'll be able to take out the Warwalker. The Gretchen will survive this counterattack. Now, if they have something with Barrage, they could actually take down that Gretchen. Let's see what their next 2 bodyguards are. Okay, they got some fodder, but hitting us with an outflank, and then... Okay, well, actually, that's, yeah, just as good as a Barrage. The Sonic Blast is going to take down the Gretchen. Of course, Sonic Blast does enrage the Death Dread with Berserk, but we're going to be taking a lot of range damage here. Quite a bit. A lot more than I would like, that's for sure. Almost killing the Death Dread, actually, in 1 turn. That is problematic. Ooh, and this thing survives with 1 health, the Reaver. That's not great. Well, yeah, this is not looking so good at this point. But we do have, because of the outflank, normally would have been able to kill had just enough to kill the Wraith Fighter, but because of the outflank, it survives, which means that Death Dread is going to die. And then we're going to have to deploy the Warlord, so looks like maybe I should have included a bit more defense in this deck. Maybe some more shields or something. Just to... Because if one of these Death Dreads goes down, then you're in trouble. And yeah, these powered up ranged units. I'm telling you, the Zephyr Blade is a really strong Warlord here in PvP. Surprisingly strong. Got a precision shot. Is it going to take... Wow. The Wraith Guard actually took down the Death Dread just with the precision shot. That's pretty impressive. Another big ranged attack here. And yeah, these guys are not going to survive much longer. Do have a death blow. It's going to be a very big death blow on this Death Dread. But final bodyguard deploying will be a pretty close match, I think. But target acquired. Well, we're deploying the Warlord, and target acquired doesn't work on Warlords, so there's that. Also, Zodgrod has Inspiring Presence, further empowering my units. So actually, it's going to be quite close. If he can't kill my Warlord in 1 turn, then I think I might actually win. Yeah, because we took out all but 1 bodyguard. That bodyguard is going to die from the counterattack, I think. Actually, never mind. I guess he could kill the the Mecha Dread and survive. But no, he's going... Oops. Not sure if that was the right choice, because now, if you go ranged, Deathblow's going to go off. Well, this will be a pretty climactic end to the game then. Big explosion there. And yeah, that was a lot of damage, but not quite enough, and we are actually able to win with a counterattack. So pretty close match there. Zodgrod was able to pull off a victory. Pretty fun Warlord. I do enjoy playing as him, and definitely having him at the higher level is nice. For this video, I'm just going to play one more match with another new Warlord, the Parasite of Mortrex. This is the newest one for the Tyranids. It infests enemies with melee attacks, so the infesting attack does less damage, but then it can, when the infested card dies, it explodes, dealing a bunch of damage to adjacent lanes. So again, I haven't tested this one out either in PvP yet, so I'm interested in seeing how this will work. I am running a lot of ranged units in this deck, and also the Carnifex with Berserk. I think ranged units are generally better with the Parasite, because their melee attack is pretty low, so you're not losing out on too much from the debuffed attack. We're up against Darkstrider. Now, Darkstrider is a very powerful Warlord, especially when utilizing the taunt units. So this will be an interesting matchup. Of course, Darkstrider and most Tau go ranged, so I don't think I've really faced many ranged decks with the Parasite yet. So now we do get to counter deploy. They put down a big game Hunter there, but I think we can move the Carnifex out of the way. Maybe deploy this guy. We'll be able to infest something with the Furious Charge. Alright, another big game Hunter deploying to the field. So we definitely want to move the Carnifex out of the way. I think we'll just put down the Rippers for now. Okay, here comes the Furious Charge. So that Broadside Battlesuit is now infested. Running lots of battlesuits. Usually I see, well, I personally use the aircraft with Darkstrider. And he's running a lot of bodyguards too. I think he's got like the full 8 or maybe 7 bodyguards. We'll go with melee, obviously. And we will be able to infest both of those Crisis battlesuits. Nothing dies this turn. But on the following turn, the counterattack from the Carnifex should kill the red battlesuit, which will then explode into the center lane. The first Ripper dies, but is replaced by another one. And here comes the explosion, dealing 48 damage to the center lane. Because the middle Crisis suit is infested, it will die, and it will take full damage from future melee attacks. We'll see if he decides to shift his bodyguards around, and yes, he does. Getting hit by an outflank. Oh, right, of course. I actually completely forgot how Darkstrider works because the AI never uses it correctly. But now, that's the thing. Whenever one of his guys dies, he can shift his units, and then they'll get a free attack in. So they can deal a lot of extra damage just from that. So we'll go ahead and put down the Mucilid Spore. We're attacking with one less unit because the unit got destroyed before deployment. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, actually unable to kill anything this turn because of the outflank, so this is where something with taunt would have been handy. Okay, well, unfortunate, but what can you do? I guess we'll go with the Exocrine. Thing has lots of shields, so it will survive for a while. Although I guess when they deploy, they'll just be able to shoot it with those extra attacks and get rid of the shields. The Carnifex is getting pretty low on health. I can't actually remember. Did I put a healer in this deck? I hope so, because it is about to die. Although, actually, with the Death Blow, that's going to kill the Crisis Battlesuit before it gets a chance to attack. And there's the Explosion. And with the counterattack, actually wiped the entire board there. Was not actually expecting that, but that worked out nicely. Of course, now they will be able to get 2 free shots in, but it is my turn, so at least there's the healer. Okay, we'll put the healer, I guess, in the center lane. I just want to keep the Carnifex away from the Sunshark Bomber, although he could shift it all the way to the right. We'll see how he decides to deploy. It is a lot more interesting playing against a human-controlled Darkstrider, that's for sure. So there's the first free attack, and it is a barrage, so it is hitting adjacent lanes, and he'll be able to get 1 more attack in. He just has 3 bodyguards remaining. So we just have to kill these guys. We'll be good to go, but yeah, I think they're going to take out all the shields. Yeah, all the shields are now gone on the Exocrine. That's not good. Carnifex, well, they actually have a buffed attack as well. We'll go with the melee to infest all of their units. So 108 getting reduced to just 54 damage. Not really that great. This bomber will be doing a lot of damage. And also the Big Game Hunter will be dealing extra damage to the Exocrine, so yeah, that's going to be painful. 187 damage there, and then 107 from the bomber. But that means we will be able to take out the Sunshark. So let's see, the Carnifex does a whole lot of damage now. Actually, I could switch to ranged at this point, I think. And probably wipe the board. I think, well, we did get hit by some outflanks. I'm not sure if we have quite enough damage. I think we should have enough, because everything's infested anyway, so that means even if they survive, or even if, as long as like one thing dies, it'll blow up everything else. See right there? Just the extra damage. Didn't even need to use all of our attacks, so. In the end, the Parasite did... This is very strong, actually. Even against a ranged deck. I think Darkstrider is better if you just have a couple powerful units, and you definitely want to make use of taunt units, because that will force the drones with no attack to die first, and then you can just get a lot more damage output from a special rule from that. So, in case you are wanting to play as Darkstrider, that is my advice. But yeah, was able to win all 3 matches there with new Warlords, so it looks like, you know, they do pretty well once they're leveled up. The issue is, I mean, just getting, it just takes forever to get copies of cards to level them up. Alright, so I now just have 3 matches remaining in this campaign. 3 wins. And these are just the rewards from the packs. Again, the rewards from the exploration itself, like in this, just here, are quite good. And nobody's talking about that, but like getting all the copies of the new healer for Chaos in particular was really nice. So, personally, I enjoyed this PvP campaign, actually playing the matches. They were quite fun, a lot more fun than I was expecting, but I know a lot of people have been complaining about the rewards. That is kind of the biggest issue here. But yeah, let me know if you played this campaign and what you thought of it, and maybe any advice you have to the developers for how to improve PvP mode or campaigns like this in the future. Let me know in the comments, but thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.